Bob Newhart is an iconic comedian who rose to fame via his unique comedy routines before achieving even greater success as a TV star on shows like The Bob Newhart Show, a 1970s sitcom that was the second show to bear his name. Nowadays, Bob refuses to retire, but still likes to take it easy and live a quiet life with his wife of over 50 years. Join Facts First as we take a look at Bob Newhart's lifestyle at 92. Bob Newhart came into this world on September 5, 1929, in Oak Park, Illinois. His father was the partial owner of a plumbing and heating company, which was how he provided for his family. Bob received a Roman Catholic education, attending Oak Park's St. Catherine of Siena Grammar School and then Chicago's St. Ignatius College Prep. He graduated from school in 1947 and enrolled at Loyola University Chicago. He graduated from there in 1952, receiving a bachelor's degree in business. He was then drafted into the Korean War. He served in the U.S. Army until being honorably discharged from his service in 1954. He then decided to further his education, attending Loyola University Chicago School of Law in hopes of getting a higher degree. But he ended up dropping out after an internship required him to act in a way that he believed was unethical. It became apparent he was going to have to find something to do outside of practicing law. So he began for a time to put his bachelor's degree in business to use, working for various employers as a clerk. He didn't enjoy the work and found himself struggling financially. He took a job as a copywriter for an ad agency in 1958, and while there, he began practicing comedic routines in his downtime. It's been said Bob developed his first comedy routines while talking to a coworker on the phone, which is why so much of his comedy consisted of phone monologues. As Bob got better at being funny, he decided to record some of his monologues and start sending them to local radio stations. Those who heard the tapes received the act favorably, and it wasn't long before he was a promising young comedian performing in nightclubs around Chicago. He quickly developed a relationship with Warner Brothers and their then new record division. The film studio had recently decided it was time to get into music, though they hadn't found the success in that arena that they have today. Warner Brothers Records had only just been established in 1958. In 1960, they released Bob's comedy album, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart. The album went on to become the first ever comedy album to reach the highest position on the Billboard charts, and even earned Bob a Grammy. While Bob initially found the most success with his comedic albums, he soon began being offered roles on TV. This resulted in NBC giving him his own variety show in 1961, though it was only around for less than a year before being canceled. The show was titled The Bob Newhart Show, though that name would later become more closely associated with the 1970s sitcom that also used it. Despite the fact that his 1960s variety series didn't draw in great amounts of viewers, the critics loved it. Bob was becoming more and more of a player in the industry and made his film debut acting in the 1962 feature Hell is for Heroes. Bob continued as a popular comedic figure over the remainder of the decade before truly getting the status of an icon with 1972's The Bob Newhart Show. The Bob Newhart Show of the 70s lasted much longer than the variety series it took its name from, with new episodes being produced until 1978. After the show ended, Bob attempted to recreate its success multiple times to increasingly less avail. Still, Bob continues to work to this day and has a vast amount of wealth to his name. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already, and stick around to learn more about Bob Newhart today. After all Bob Newhart has done, he's estimated to be worth around $65 million. This vast wealth has afforded him the ability to live a life of luxury with his longtime wife, including having previously owned a lavish estate in Bel Air that was recently sold for nearly $15 million. Bob had purchased it for around $4 million in 1990. In Bob's old age, he not only refuses to retire, but he also makes sure to answer all his fans' letters. Answering them gives Bob a close and personal connection to them, something that has arguably helped him thrive into his twilight years. One of the main reasons Bob doesn't want to retire is because he believes his ability to make people laugh is a gift he has a responsibility to share with as many people as possible. Seeing the fruits of his labor in the form of adoring letters from fans of all ages gives the aging actor the validation to keep moving forward. Bob continues to perform comedy and write new material, and one of his favorite ways to express his comedic voice is still on the radio. On Bob's more recent radio appearances, he still has the same energy he exhibited on late-night programs in the peak of his success. Fans can also look forward to him sporadically popping up in front of the camera in upcoming years, as he's expressed he's anxious to return to the screen. In 2003, Bob was introduced to a new generation of fans thanks to his performance in the holiday comedy Elf. Bob played an elf that becomes the adopted father of a human played by Will Ferrell, and the film has become a beloved holiday classic. According to Bob, he knew he had to take part in the film as soon as he got the script, as he had a feeling it was going to become a holiday favorite. This turned out correct, as the film surpassed expectation and went on to become one of the most widely accepted additions to the classic holiday film canon. While Elf has had a large impact on family holiday viewing, it has had an even larger impact on Bob's aforementioned stack of fan mail. Bob has shared that roughly half of the fan mail he receives are letters from children and parents expressing how much their families love to watch Elf every year. While many stars Bob's age have been married and divorced multiple times, Bob has been married to the same woman for well over 50 years. His first and only wife is Ginny, whom he married in 1962. They met when set up on a blind date by comedian Buddy Hackett. Buddy had hired Ginny as a babysitter, and he saw something in her he thought would be perfect for Bob. He set the two up despite some initial hesitancy from both of them. Few Hollywood relationships have lasted as long as Bob and Ginny's, and the couple is still together. Apparently, the late Buddy Hackett had hoped that Bob and Ginny would end up naming one of their children after him, but they ended up having 4 children, and none are named Buddy. Instead, they're named Timothy, Courtney, Jennifer, and Robert, and Bob and Ginny are now also grandparents. One might wonder how they've managed to stay together for nearly 60 years. Bob claims it's due to the fact that the two share a similar sense of humor. According to Bob, if you can make your spouse laugh, that can add a lot of longevity to a marriage. Ginny is only slightly younger than Bob, having been born in 1940. Although Bob is certainly the bigger star of the two, Ginny has tried her hand at entertainment many times, mainly appearing as an extra in various TV shows. When he's not working, Bob likes to take it easy with his wife, kids, and grandchildren. He enjoys passing his comedic skills along to his grandson, who is apparently beginning to practice some comedy of his own at a young age. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share if you've seen Bob in anything good recently, or if you're hoping he sticks around for years to come. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.